the last Queen of France, Marie Antoinette, a name that has echoed through the annals of history, often shrouded in both admiration and infamy. The name conjures images of opulent gowns, towering hairstyles, and a life of unparalleled luxury in the gilded cages of Versailles. Her fashion choices and extravagant lifestyle became the talk of Europe, setting trends and sparking envy. But behind the facade of the Austrian woman, as she was often derisively called, lay a woman of contradictions, thrust into a world on the brink of cataclysmic change. She was a young girl, barely out of her teens, navigating the treacherous waters of French court politics. Her story is one of love and loss, of scandal and revolution, and at its heart lies an enduring mystery, her alleged affair with the dashing Swedish Count Axel von Fersen. Their relationship, whether platonic or romantic, added another layer of intrigue to her already tumultuous life. Marie Antoinette's reign as Queen of France coincided with a period of immense social and political upheaval. The young queen found herself at the center of a storm as the old world order began to crumble around her. The French monarchy, for centuries a symbol of absolute power, was teetering on the precipice of collapse. The storming of the Bastille and the subsequent revolution marked the beginning of the end for the royal family. The extravagance of the court at Versailles, a world of glittering balls and endless banquets, stood in stark contrast to the poverty and hardship endured by the vast majority of the French people. This glaring disparity fueled the fires of revolution. It was a powder keg waiting for a spark, and Marie Antoinette, as the embodiment of royal excess, would become the lightning rod. Her every move was scrutinized, and her perceived indifference to the plight of the common people made her a target of revolutionary fervor. A Habsburg princess. Born in 1755, Marie Antoinette was the youngest daughter of Empress Maria Theresa of Austria. Her childhood was one of privilege and indulgence, but also of strict protocol and political maneuvering. At the tender age of 15, she was married off to the Dauphin of France, the future King Louis XVI, in a union designed to cement the alliance between France and Austria. The young Dauphine arrived at Versailles, a dazzling spectacle of wealth and grandeur, with the weight of dynastic expectations on her slender shoulders. Her marriage, however, was far from a fairy tale. Louis XVI, though kind-hearted, was awkward and introverted, more interested in hunting and tinkering with locks than in fulfilling his marital duties. The pressure to produce an heir was immense, and Marie Antoinette's every move was scrutinized by the gossiping courtiers of Versailles. Revolution at the gates. As the years passed, the rumblings of discontent grew louder in the streets of Paris. The common people, burdened by high taxes and rising prices, began to voice their frustrations more openly. France was on the brink of bankruptcy, crippled by costly wars and a system of taxation that disproportionately burdened the poor. The financial strain was felt most acutely by the lower classes, who struggled to make ends meet. The intellectual current of the Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason and individual liberty, had taken root, and the French people were no longer content to be ruled by the divine right of kings. Philosophers like Voltaire and Rousseau inspired a generation to question authority and seek a more just society. Marie Antoinette, despite her attempts to engage in charitable works, remained oblivious to the growing storm. Her efforts, though well-intentioned, were seen as too little, too late by a populace that was increasingly desperate. Her lavish lifestyle and penchant for extravagant parties earned her the scorn of the people, who saw her as a symbol of everything that was wrong with the monarchy. The opulence of Versailles stood in stark contrast to the poverty of the commoners. The infamous phrase, "let them eat cake," though almost certainly apocryphal, perfectly captured the public perception of her as out of touch and indifferent to the plight of the commoners. This perception only fueled the fires of revolution, as the people sought to overthrow a system that seemed irredeemably corrupt. A Swedish count in Versailles. Into this world of intrigue and unrest stepped Count Axel von Fersen, a handsome and enigmatic Swedish nobleman. Fersen, a soldier and diplomat, arrived at the French court in 1774 and quickly became a favorite in Marie Antoinette's circle. He was charming, witty, and a skilled dancer, and his presence brought a breath of fresh air to the stifling formality of Versailles. Fersen's relationship with Marie Antoinette was the subject of much speculation even at the time. He was a frequent visitor to her private apartments, and their correspondence, though carefully guarded, hints at a deep and abiding affection. Whether their relationship was purely platonic or developed into a full-blown love affair remains a subject of debate among historians. Whispers and rumors. The French court was a hotbed of gossip, and rumors of a liaison between the queen and the Swedish count spread like wildfire. Marie Antoinette, already unpopular, became the target of vicious pamphlets and caricatures that portrayed her as a frivolous adulteress and a traitor to France. The scandal surrounding the infamous diamond necklace affair, in which she was falsely implicated in a plot to defraud the crown jewelers, further tarnished her reputation. Despite the growing whispers and the increasingly hostile political climate, Fersen remained a loyal friend and confidant to the queen. He used his diplomatic skills and connections to try to shore up support for the monarchy, both within France and abroad. However, the tide of revolution was turning against them. Flight to disaster. In June 1791, as the situation in Paris became increasingly perilous for the royal family, Fersen played a key role in a daring escape attempt. Under his direction and disguised as commoners, the royal family fled the Tuileries Palace in the dead of night, hoping to reach the relative safety of the eastern border and the protection of Austria. The escape, however, was a disaster. The royal party was recognized and apprehended in the town of Varennes, just short of their destination. Their flight and subsequent capture dealt a fatal blow to the already waning prestige of the monarchy. The king and queen, once revered as semi-divine rulers, were now seen as prisoners of the revolution. The Reign of Terror. The following years were a time of unimaginable turmoil and bloodshed in France. The monarchy was abolished, and Louis XVI was sent to the guillotine in January 1793. Marie Antoinette, imprisoned with her children, endured months of agonizing uncertainty before she too met her fate in October of that year. Fersen, heartbroken by the queen's execution, continued to work for the restoration of the French monarchy from exile. He met a tragic end in 1810, murdered by a mob in Stockholm, a victim of the political turmoil that continued to grip Europe in the wake of the French Revolution. Legacy of love and revolution. The alleged love affair between Marie Antoinette and Count Fersen remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. Their relationship, shrouded in secrecy and speculation, has intrigued historians and romantics alike for centuries. The evidence, though tantalizing, is inconclusive. Letters and documents from the era provide hints but no definitive answers, leaving much to the imagination and interpretation. Their letters, filled with coded language and carefully worded expressions of affection, leave much to the imagination. These correspondences, often written under the watchful eyes of their enemies, had to be discreet and cryptic. Whether theirs was a love story for the ages or a close friendship caught in the maelstrom of revolution, their bond continues to fascinate and inspire. The depth of their connection, forged in the crucible of political upheaval, speaks to the resilience of the human spirit. Marie Antoinette, once vilified as Madame Deficit, has undergone a remarkable rehabilitation in the eyes of history. Her legacy, once tarnished by scandal and excess, is now viewed through a more sympathetic lens. She is now seen as a tragic figure, a victim of circumstance and the scapegoat of a revolution that she neither understood nor could control. Her story is a poignant reminder of the complexities of power and the often harsh judgments of history. Her story serves as a reminder of the fragility of power and the human cost of revolution. The grandeur of her life, juxtaposed with its tragic end, underscores the transient nature of fame and fortune. Count Axel von Fersen, the dashing Swedish count who risked everything for the woman he loved, remains a figure shrouded in enigma. His bravery and dedication, often overshadowed by the tumult of the times, highlight the personal sacrifices made during the revolution. His devotion to Marie Antoinette, whether as a lover or a friend, is a testament to the enduring power of human connection, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. Their relationship, marked by loyalty and courage, continues to inspire. Their story, forever intertwined with the French Revolution, continues to capture the imagination. It serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, love and loyalty can flourish, providing hope and inspiration for future generations.